Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kelly Brewer Show. I'm excited to have another installment with a very famous person around here. Want to thank people in the UK and Canada and all over checking me out, buying the books, and we get into that a little later. But today, I want to introduce you to Vider's next mayor. Her name is Nicole McGowan.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You look good today.
Thank you.
You look bright and shiny, and I guess you're ready to take on the world. You were on your phone, barking orders this morning. So
That's how it goes.
how it goes. That's your job. Somebody got to do it.
That's right.
Real quick, we're going to do a quick little intro
Okay.
on Nicole. Wow, that is hard to read. She is a mom of two, a nurse to many, because you're a, what do they call that?
Hospice.
Hospice nurse. Advocate for all. That's pretty good. It's hard to put it in just a few words, but you did a great job with that.
Thank you.
I see why they want you on city council. So, I always start with the same question for everybody.
Okay.
What would you tell your 18-year-old self, and would your 18-year-old self even listen?
What would I tell my 18-year-old self? I would probably tell myself that it doesn't matter what you were told growing up. You can always be what you want to be.
Oh, yeah?
I went through life being told basically you can't be anything.
You were an F.
So when you get to adulthood and you look back, I realized that you didn't have to have money. You didn't have to have a dad. You didn't have to have a lot of things, but you can still be whatever you put your mind to.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I bet you got a few bruises and black eyes trying to figure that out.
One or two.
Damn. That's so weird. Tina Green, I was just mentioning her. She was here, I don't know, a month or two ago, and she almost said the exact same thing. Almost the exact same. And she had a great parents and everything, but a teacher told her she couldn't sing. And she's one of the best singers I've ever heard. So,
And you know what's funny about that is it's a teacher that told me I could be anything.
oh yeah,
Yeah. hmm
so a teacher saved you in this
That's right.
situation. Wow, what did she tell you?
I actually was a fourth grade teacher. So I went through life thinking, not knowing what love was.
Yeah,
Basically, I got to fourth grade, and my teacher was Tammy Cochran. And she basically took me under her wing and told me I could be anything. And she gave out more love. So I always say kids either go to school to get education or to get love. Those kids that aren't getting love at home, that's what they need at school. So those teachers are doing that.
and women are so intuitive to know which ones need what. You know,
Yes.
they're just designed. They just in their DNA. They just can sense.
That's right.
That's sweet. Was that in Vider or where was that?
It was.
Was it?
Inviter. So when I got to college, I had to write a paper on my hero, going through nursing school. So I wrote my paper on Miss Cochran, my fourth
Really?
grade teacher.
Wow. You went to nursing school at Lamar?
I did.
Yeah. I think I told you that my mom was a instructor in the nursing program back in the 80s, I think.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Hmm.
She's a little badass. She weighs about 90 pounds, but she's got a brain. I like it. Be all you can be. Don't listen to the negative. Don't listen to the detractors. Where did that come from? It's none of my business, but did your mom lay that on you or
Yeah.
a relative?
hmm
Well,
So my
that's-
mom was. So I talk bad about my mom a lot, but I love my mom.
I understand that.
But I think she was trying to humble me as a child because she would always tell me, "You're never going to amount to more than what we are." And in her mind, I think she thought that was a good thing.
Yeah.
But that's what I grew up hearing. You'll never amount to more than what I am, what she is.
And not even knowing what that was, But,
And I remember telling her one time, "No, you watch me.
yeah.
You watch me."
So she actually created a monster, didn't she?
Yes.
I've seen that too. I've seen where they try to beat them down and beat them up, and the next thing you know, like I went to a one of those battered women. Like they had a little soiree down at the Elegante, and the lady that got up there, she was like covered in tattoos, and she had been child trafficked her whole life and abused and the whole thing. And now that she got out of it and got saved somehow, now she is like a lawyer. She's going after these people. She's taking them down right and left. So they made a mistake pulling that one down because man, she came back to haunt them pretty bad. Not that I'm not comparing
Yeah.
her to you, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying a similar comeback.
I think you either are going to lay down and take it, or you're going to be a fighter. You're going to go one way or the
Well,
other.
you are a fighter. I have seen you perform there down at the city hall, and you just, I mean, bam, you are straight down the line.
Best way to be.
How's that going? Tell me about the current state of the city of Vidor.
I have to say it's better. We've had some ups and downs, but we seem to be doing good.
Yeah.
We seem to be doing good.
Like in what sense? When you say doing good, your bills are paid.
Bills are paid.
Nobody's in jail.
There's more people were getting. There was some chaos for a while where there was a lot of people not getting along. People seem to be getting along better now. So there's it's smooth. It's going smooth.
When did that start? The sort of the shift.
We had some issues with a lot of the staff at City Hall about a year ago.
I've known you for a while, and as a friend, I want to know, and maybe you don't want to share this part. Maybe it's nobody's business, and I'll cut it out if you don't want to talk about it. But you dealt with some health issues in the past, and I mean, now you're a what do you call it? A bodybuilder? Is that what you're doing or something? I mean, it's like you just refuse to take an ass whooping. You are not going to take it. And not only that, are you going to come back and you're going to do better than it was before?
Yes. So in 2012, I had breast cancer.
Ouch.
I had a bilateral mastectomy. After that, doctors told me that I had to keep my BMI below 25%.
BMI?
Body mass index.
Okay.
So it's the percentage of body fat.
Don't
basically.
be fat. Don't get fat.
Right. Because it increases your chance of reoccurrence of cancer. So I started working out then, trying to eat better. I kind of roller coaster. And then I guess about a year ago, probably two, I decided to start challenging myself. So I did a 75 hard challenge, 75 days of 2 workouts a day. I did that challenge, and then I did that challenge again. And then I said, well, I need to do something different. So I saw the coach that I had, his wife is 56, and I saw some pictures of her. And she had done a bodybuilding contest, and I was like, man, if this girl can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
So I texted him the next morning and said, I want to do one. So in November, I did my first bodybuilding contest.
When was that? This past November?
This past November.
Okay.
And I will do my next one May 17th.
Okay.
So, and I said I would only do one. But after I came off the stage, I said, nope, I didn't do good enough. I got to do it again.
Well, that is just perseverance, man. That is just mind over matter. Mind over matter.
People always say you're so disciplined. I don't think it's discipline. I think it's just stubborn. I have this drive that makes me keep being stubborn. I don't know.
Can you recall that moment? What was the moment that when in your mind it just clicked that I'm not going to take it anymore, damn it?
I remember being about 6. I was probably 6 and my brother was 8. Our mom was an alcoholic. So she had came home drunk one night, middle of the night, and we were hiding in the closet because when she'd come home drunk, she wanted to beat everybody. So she wants to come in with her belt and she's going to whip us for whatever reason. I don't even remember. I think there was dishes in the sink or whatever. So we're hiding in the closet. And I remember looking at my brother and telling him, I'm not doing this. I will not grow up like this. I will not do this. We will not be this. And we both sat there and cried. And we said, we're not going to be our mom. So from that moment on, I did everything I could possibly do to be opposite of my mother.
Wow. So she modeled the wrong behavior so that you could then seek out the right behavior, in a sense.
And I look at it now like I'm a cycle breaker, but maybe she was too. She did the best she could with what she knew.
Yeah.
She was also a cycle breaker because she had her own issues with her own parents. So it took me a long time to forgive her for,
Right.
but she did the best she could.
Once you realize that,
Once I had kids, once I had my own kids, and I realized how hard mothering is, I realized that she did the best she could.
yeah. Wow.
Now, do I talk to my kids like that? Absolutely not. Mine are probably the opposite. I go too far the opposite side, but they are great kids.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. 6 years old. Is your brother still around?
No, my brother actually overdosed.
So he kind of followed after mom a little bit.
Hmm. My brother and my sister both went the opposite path. Now my sister is better now, but yeah, my brother ended up overdosing about 5 years ago.
Oh no. Where was he at? Around here?
He was the body that was floating in the pond in Vider in 2019.
God.
Yeah.
So you've taken a few blows, haven't you? But now you've come full circle, and you're going to use that. You're going to use that to do better and not worse. And so we talked about you being the next mayor of Vider,
That's the goal.
right? The first obvious question is why? Why would you do such a thing?
I guess I've never been a why person. I'm always a why not
Why
person.
not? Okay.
Why not? I've been on the council for 4 years, mayor pro tem for 4 years, and I just think it's time for some positive change in there. Some time for some unity. There's, like I've talked about before, there was some chaos before. I have respect for the council. They have respect for me. There's mutual respect there. That there's not a lot of that at this time, and I'm hoping to bring the unity. We can all start working forward for the city instead of fighting each other.
Yeah. For the city. You're just an advocate for all, aren't you?
That's my goal.
That's your goal. I've sat on one of the boards, and it's kind of irritating. Actually, I found it to be a little bit irritating, and that was one of the things I was trying to do at the water board was reduce debt. You can get rid of the debt, then you can lower rates,
Right.
because they're charging taxes. They're in on the property tax side too. So you pay your water bill, but you're also paying a property tax, right? And so to me, the reason they're having to pay a property tax is because there's no plan. There's no plan in place at the water board. So in the handbook, it said, if you don't make a plan will be made for you.
So who's supposed to make the plan for you?
Whoever you borrow the money from.
Oh,
That's how you're planning. And so the Sabine River Authority's got a big shindig coming up for the whole area, all of Southeast Texas. What are they going to do? They're going to make a plan for the whole
that's good.
area. Anyway, I hope they get the message.
They said, why not them?
And I invited him. I sent, I got a letter because I'm part of the water plan, I sent him the letter. I said, y'all need to be there because guess what they're doing? They're making a water plan at the Sabine River Authority.
I need to go to the water. I need to go check one of those out.
You should. If I can figure out when the next meet, generally like I say, third Monday of the month, but they had a little glitch last time. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the next mayor of Vider. I think you'd be pretty good. I've watched you in action. I know you're a serious individual. You've been doing it for a while. You got your feet wet. We don't have to worry about, having to figure out, it's kind of like Trump's first term. He was just in there trying to figure it out first. Now, like you can get in there and take care of business. So you've been there. You know the ropes. You know the people. You know the job. And so give me an idea of what changes you would make, or is there anything in the city that needs to really be addressed?
for the most part, everything goes smooth. I'm sure there's little things that could be adjusted, but everybody gets along. I think just the unity of having all of us together is going to help. It's going to help move forward. You know.
I mean, is there no specific plan? You were talking about Con Park.
So there's Con Park. You know, we've been working on that for a while. My hope is to get a committee out there so we get that moving forward because it's just been stagnant. We have several grants out for different neighborhoods that are working, including my neighborhood. So
To do what? What in the neighborhood?
so in our neighborhood in Heritage, it's one of the grants. They will be, our drainage is under the road and it's a 6-inch pipe. So it's all crumbled, busted,
mess.
whatever. So when it floods, the water doesn't have
Right.
anywhere to go. So all that will be dug up,
Really?
drained.
So there's a
Yeah.
plan in place.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. It's actually supposed to be on council tonight.
Oh no shit. So you'll
Yeah.
be there. I might, because a friend of mine lived out there, Rhodes. I don't know if you know Rhodes, and his mom still lives there, and he's always complained. And I've been going in and out of there my whole life, and it's always the flooding is so bad.
Yeah, so it'll be the grants Heritage, Lexington, Concord,
That whole area.
Orange Street.
Yeah.
So it should help.
Is
a
there
lot.
will there be like a plat or a picture of?
I maybe tonight. I know they're awarding the grant tonight for
Really?
Heritage.
Oh, so it's
so-
this is done. This
Yes.
is a done deal. Wow. Well, that's good. That is definitely something that needs
That
to
is
be done.
positive. Yes.
Holy moly! For years, that's been needing to be done. That's a good thing. And that's such a nice neighborhood, and it really deserve. And they've been paying taxes. They really deserve a little
Yeah, those
attention.
roads are terrible.
Very bad. Very bad. Well, that's a
But
good.
there's light at the end of that tunnel.
That'll be a good lick. Whose idea was that? Where did that come from?
It's a grant that came in. So they
So you
sent off
asked
for these grants, and I don't know how they chose which roads
Yeah.
got the grant money.
How long ago was that began?
Before I got on council.
Okay.
So they've been working on it
Long time.
for years.
So all the engineering's done, and
They say
I
it should
guess.
be done by the fall.
I got you.
That Heritage should be done by the fall of this
The
year.
job will be.
Hmm.
Well, Con Park. You were talking about Con Park. Okay, Con Park is the one by the library.
No, Con Park is
By
the
the
one by the pool. Mhm.
So I noticed they were doing something behind the pool.
So Orange County is putting a pod out there, an emergency pod, for emergency. It'll be an emergency station for hurricanes or
For like first responder kind of deal, or
Mhm.
yeah. Oh, okay. So that's city property then.
it is city property. The city gave that piece of property to the county to put their pod, and then the county in exchange is doing something with the road
Okay.
to make it more accessible.
Right.
So they're kind of working together to do a project
I
out
got
there.
you. Con Park. And we were talking about this, I think, when I saw you last Thursday, that in my opinion, it's just me, when Vider had the barbecue festival, right? But they had it at Claiborne Park.
Hmm.
To me, it was so much more cooler. Is that proper English? So much more cooler at Claiborne Park.
So it's funny you say that because I've kind of been thinking on that too, but that's all I can really say about that.
It was, it's a fairground.
Hmm.
It's set up as a fairground. It's perfect
Absolutely.
for that. And then, oh my gosh, somebody told me that at the barbecue festival, you couldn't buy barbecue.
I just heard that. I just heard that it was a competition, so you couldn't buy barbecue. But I don't,
How would that affect the outcome if you had a separate panel of judges?
I don't know.
That's insane.
You should. I mean, if it was to come back, that would be a hope that you could have both, I mean,
Bizarre. That's bizarre.
well, that was whoever set that original plan up. That was one of their things, but
Man, our little community just really seems retarded. Retarded in the sense that there's just no vision. I guess that's what I say. There's no somebody with their head up and not down in the weeds. Oh my gosh, what's somebody with their head up looking down the road and saying we need to go that way instead of, oh my God, this the flowers aren't the right color. Or I've been watching it my whole life. I'm
I
so
think there's a
disappointed.
vision out there now.
You do?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What is that? Describe that to me.
I can't.
You can't.
I'm just going to say I think there's a vision out there.
You can't tell me who, what, where, when, how.
That's right.
Animal, vegetable, mineral.
Mm-mm.
None of those things. When can I know? After the election?
Yes,
Yeah. Then you'll tell me about the vision.
that's right.
Will there be somebody? Oh my gosh! Somebody needs to bring any the emergency services, the water district, the city, the county. I mean, anybody who has an influence or any controls anything about water, they all need to come together. I think. And they're all going to argue, and it's going to be terrible. And this one hates that one. This one's sleeping with that one's wife, and I know it's going to be awful. And but keep doing it. Look what Trump's doing. He's enduring all of the bullshit to try to bring unity, to try to bring this one's an asshole. This one texted the wrong one.
Mhm.
Let's
There
come
does.
on,
There needs to be unity with everybody.
please.
I mean, even our fire department is, not, it's ESD, so it's not a city fire department. So we even need unity with them, with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
When our police get called out, our fire doesn't come out because they're not associated with the city. They're separate.
Yeah,
So if there's a wreck on the interstate, fire should come protect our people,
Yeah.
put out a truck.
right.
So hopefully we can get that unity also.
Yeah, their little city. To me, it's never going to grow. First of all, without more water and sewer, you're not going nowhere. So you look at Vidor. Vidor's this little tiny. Vidor's this little tiny area. And what is Mauriceville? Mauriceville, is it even incorporated? The city of Mauriceville is. I don't think
I
there's
don't
a
know.
city. Mauriceville is growing like crazy. They've got a crew. That's all they do is put water lines in. Whenever I'm doing the water, anytime I put a new water line in, guess what? I got new customers. Anytime. So I would say to the board, we need to be growing. Come on, I'm paying taxes over here and I'm paying taxes over here and I got no service. But a mayor, it's kind of her job, I would think, to bring everybody together. And it's like turning the Titanic,
There's vision.
Maybe you can come back and share that with us because that's very important. The more time I spend listening to the leaders of the community, the more I realize there's no vision. There's
But
not.
there is a vision.
Well, I don't see it. It's not coming through. So you got the good hair. You got a good
hair.
You got a good tan. You got a pretty smile. Do your own YouTube channel, or could the city do a YouTube channel? How hard would that be? And then just do sort of a weekly address. My fellow citizens, I want to tell you about the vision I have for Vidor. Vidor's vision is going to be
This week.
X.
Maybe we have a new vision every week.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, I see. That's right. You can't give any details. Anyway, I'm not here to tell you about your job. I'm just telling you, if it was me.
Thank you.
Yeah. So your signs are coming in. Be looking for the signs for Nicole McGowan. So what is your logo? What is your slogan?
It is Nicole McGowan for mayor. And we are going for progress, unity, and transparency.
I like it. We got to have it. I think you're going to do good.
I didn't know Vidor even had a city council until my neighbor across the street was moving, and she was our ward city council, and she came over and said, "Hey, I'm moving. Will you take my seat?" And I was like, "Your seat for what?"
What?
But I came from the county.
Yeah.
I always lived in the county.
Okay.
So she told me what she was and what she does. She said, you advocate for patients, so it's pretty much the same thing, Nicole. You're just going to advocate for the city.
For the city.
And I said, okay, I can do that. So that's what got me on council.
Yeah. Did you have to run for election for that?
So I didn't the first time because
She was leaving.
she was leaving. So I was appointed my first year.
Pro tem.
She had a year in. So for the first year I was appointed, and then I had to run for council.
I got you. And
now I'm running for mayor.
Going for the brass ring.
That's right.
Okay. That's so cool. Well, I mean, you must like it. You must feel like you have an influence, an ability. Yeah.
It's nice to have that respect, with the council, and that we all had the common goal to do what's best for the city.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see that, It's hard to see it when you're not at meetings, but there is a common goal up there. We do want what's best for city, all of us.
Yeah. What about the music friendly thing? The Vider is one of 25 cities or
Music friendly.
yeah. Is there anything you can do with that? Is there do you have a vision?
For the music friendly thing?
Yeah.
I do, but that's a vision that I can't tell you.
Why can't you tell me?
Because it's just a vision.
You have to kill me or what after?
That's right.
Wow.
We can't. I'm funny about saying something. If it comes out of my mouth, I need to know I can make it
I
happen.
got you. No, I totally get that. Well, look.
And I think that goes with nursing. You learn in nursing school, you don't promise anything you can't
I see.
make happen. So I'm real funny about if I'm going to say it, I know it's true or I can make it
I
happen.
got you. Well, that's very wise. That is a wise methodology, and that actually is a good point to emphasize for the podcast because what I'm trying to do with the podcast is I don't want to say educate, but yeah, I guess educate a little bit, but take somebody from where they are now to a higher level. Oh, look what that one did.
Right.
She listened to her mama, at one point. Her mom told her one thing and she took it and look, it changed her whole life, because a lot of times it's something so simple. It's the simplest little tweak to your thinking that can just you escape from prison. It's like a key to a prison cell, Somebody told me a parable about, so when the elephant was tiny, right, they would drive a stake in the ground and chain him to it. Well, he can't pull it out. But hell, when he's 10 tons,
But he doesn't know any better.
He still can't pull it out.
Right.
He's stuck, And I've always thought, I share a lot in common with the elephant is what I'm saying. Yeah. And it's taken me a long time to unlock all the little prisons that my mind has put myself in. The mind is the greatest trap of all.
It is.
So,
it is.
But you had clarity at 6. That's pretty good. And now you're having clarity at, and I won't say your age, but older. And so you feel like you can not only take yourself, but you can take the city with you onto a higher ground. That's good. That's pretty, I want to say ballsy, but it's kind of ballsy. It really is. Or you just must feel very confident.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times it's looking at my kids, I tell my kids you can be anything. I can't very well sit back and be nothing and tell my kids they can be anything.
Well, that's true. I see.
Usually the kids are motivated by the mom, but I get motivated by my kids.
Oh, yeah?
I have great kids.
Well, that's
great
good.
Kids.
That's good.
So I look at them and I'm like, okay, they're off living their best lives and doing great things. So mom can't very well be a bum.
At it,
I actually am planning on probably on April the 11th doing a meet and greet.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do it at Bayou Cafe. I have a call in to Todd Stark to try to get that. My daughter, I have a person that's going to sing. My daughter sings, so I think I'm going to get her to sing with him. Go out and let people come.
April 11th, you said?
April 11th, it's Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Yep. So hopefully Todd agrees to that and we can do a meet and greet.
Well, great. That is so good. We'll get this, I'll get this podcast posted before the election. Would you say end of April? Okay. I'll try to get this done the next week or two. And I hope it helps.
Thank you.
That would be my goal.
Thank you.
Because I want to do the same thing as you. I want to lift up my community, So, I got you something.
Okay.
I got you something. So I got you a deepening, if you can say that, a deepening stress ball. You're going to need it.
I'm going to need that for sure.
Damn, I hope, watching them
Can
return.
I throw it sometime?
Yeah, you can throw it and not hurt nobody. I also got you a deepening bracelet. I think it matches your shirt. I got you a keychain bottle opener. You don't drink, I know. This, I might have to pull this out. Oh, I got you a, can you see? No, you can't see.
Oh.
A coffee cup Cosmic Mechanics. That's the name of the band in my science fiction books. So this is the top of the line, right? This is a flashlight, knife, bottle opener, and keychain. Very fancy.
Fancy.
Very expensive. I think I paid $3.50. But I had to buy 1,000
I
of
can
them.
put it on my keychain.
Put it on your
Keep me
keychain.
safe when I'm out at night
Keychain.
playing hospice nurse.
And it says,
I got my own knife.
oh, and I got you, sign it for you, but this is the new book, right? Island Dude.
Oh, nice.
Island Dude. See my name on there? I wrote that. I wrote that book right
I'll
there.
have to read it.
It's about a guy who has a burden and he learns how to deal with it. A floating island just shows up one day and starts following him around. And now everybody's scared of him and they run him off, so he's alone and he's like, what? You've ruined my life, this burden,
Mm-hmm.
It's a parable of
Yeah.
all the burdens that we share.
I got you.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Shine it at that middle camera. So we're just going to let our little light shine. That's what we're going to do.
And every time you say that, it makes me think of
I'm going to, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. There it is. We're going to let our little light shine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Nicole McGowan. Get out early. Vote early and often. And